looky there. What do you know? TMZ corrected their article. Now, if you missed it, this was the article that they originally published almost 1 week ago on Halloween. Now, I made a video out of frustration that popped off a little bit, and there was a lot of you that agreed with me that understood this is completely inaccurate. So TMZ decided to correct the record. So let's read through and see what corrections were actually made. Because I will say their Instagram grid is still incorrect. They still have this in the mix of things. I'm sure that because they post 87 times a day, I'm sure they figure nobody cares. This is the old headline. Justin Baldoni accepts loss in Blake legal war, but she's not done with him. And the new corrected headline, Justin Baldoni final judgment entered dismissing his Blake suit, but she's not done with him. Deadline passes for Justin Baldoni to amend Blake Lively lawsuit. Versus the old one that said Justin Baldoni does not appeal Blake Lively's lawsuit dismissal. Because I'm a weirdo, I guess, I went back to my photos from last week and I literally still had screenshots of the article. So it says, Justin Baldoni looks like he has accepted his fate in his legal battle with Blake Lively because he missed his deadline to appeal the judge's ruling and his dismissed lawsuits against her, Ryan Reynolds, and the New York Times. According to new legal documents obtained by TMZ, the final judgment in this case has just been entered, and all of Justin's claims against Blake, Ryan, and the New York Times have been thrown out of court. Remember, this is the bullshit article. This isn't true. The ruling came down in June, and Justin could have appealed, but the deadline came and went without him putting up a fight. Blake's claims against him are still intact. She wants him to pay attorney's fees defending his claims. As you know, Justin and his blah, 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 blah. So this is what the old article said. I'm not going to read through the whole thing. If you want to hold it and read it, you can. Here's other parts. I also think this looked like an AI photo of these two, but whatever. Maybe it's real. As for Ryan, you recall Justin accused Ryan of false labeling Justin as a sexual predator, but the judge found that this statement was also consistent with Blake's allegations and her complaint, and Ryan had no reason to... The judge hasn't seen shit. He hasn't said shit. We've reached out to everybody's team. This is the previous article from October 31st. So now, let's read what the new article says. Justin Baldoni isn't seeking to restart his lawsuit against Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds, and the New York Times, for now at least, because the deadline to amend has passed, and the final judgment is now official. These ads are so annoying, but according to new legal docs obtained by TMZ, the final judgment in this case has just been entered, and all of Justin's claims have been thrown out of court. Yeah, so these all look pretty much the same. Not really. Now it says, as you know, Justin and his Wayfarer Studios production company were suing them for $400 million in the New York Times for $250 alleged defamation over an article about the drama on the It Ends With Us movie set. A story Justin alleged is a part of a smear campaign against him. We're going to give him grace, guys. Give him grace. They're trying. Were they trying, though? Here's the other parts. And then the AI photo. As for Ryan, you'll recall, because of course we have to throw this in there. It's just to be salacious, you know. The end. We've reached out to legal teams for Justin, Blake, and the Times. So far, no word back. Correction. A previous version of this post stated Justin Baldoni had missed the deadline to appeal. In fact, he did not miss that deadline, but he can no longer refile his claims against Blake, Ryan, and the New York Times. However, once the judge makes a ruling on Blake's request for Justin to pay her attorney's fees, Justin could still appeal and reverse the dismissal of this case. Now, do we still think that they didn't talk to any of their legal teams? Was it just like, I'm wondering what motivated TMZ to change their article. Was it truly that they felt like they needed to make a correction? Were they getting too much backlash from their end? Or was there a conversation had from either of the teams that came to them and said, like, you are not representing this correctly? So that's the question, but I do think that TMZ deserves a little bit of credit for correcting their article, because I don't think that they do that a lot. I could be mistaken, but I guess I don't also keep track of how often TMZ corrects their articles. So, but I noticed this one, and I appreciated it. If you weren't aware, They are correcting this article that they posted on Halloween, where they said Justin Baldoni accepts loss in legal war, but she's not done with him. They have since corrected, and it says now Justin Baldoni final judgment entered dismissing his Blake suit, but she's not done with him.